two, 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 two.
Too many. 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 Too many.
There's too many games. There's too many.
Too many games.
Games.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Too Many Games podcast, also known as TMG. And hey, guess what? Wouldn't you guys believe it? It's fucking episode 8 of this podcast.
Ocho!
Yeah, we've done 8 of... Hold on, let me see your guys' beautiful face. Let me full screen this. By the way, first episode that we're doing on Discord here, so hopefully the audio is much better. And yeah, now I get to see your guys' beautiful faces. You guys, of course, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Of course, you got your man Ralph, just as always.
Woo! Then your boy Aiden in the other corner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just partially a half second back in time from where I am, but yeah. How you guys been? How maybe you want to update the people on how life has been going for you guys.
Yeah. How's it going with you, Ralph?
Oh man, just taking every day as it comes in. Currently on leave from my job at a grocery store. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been chilling, honestly, just trying to survive from this virus like everyone else.
Yeah. Yes, sirree. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Everyone in good health.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying we're all in good health. So
Yeah.
we're good. But you know what? Let's dive into some quick news that I don't know if you guys have heard, but The Last of Us Part 2 got leaked online. And so
I did.
because of that, they basically forced them to like release the game. So now it's coming out in June, which is cool. Yeah, I mean it's not cool, of course, but like it's cool that we get the game now, like finally.
Yeah.
And also,
It's like, how did shit get leaked, you know?
yeah, I don't know. Apparently, you know what? It's stupid. They announced that they caught the person, but they're like, we're not gonna say who it is.
What I read was it was a disgruntled employee.
No, they said that
they
it.
were working.
They said that they weren't affiliated with Sony at all, but they weren't releasing like who it was.
That's so weird.
Hard to say. Were you good at avoiding all the spoilers?
Yeah, no, it's funny because this is sort of segueing into my next bit of news here, but I don't know if you guys saw the Assassin's Creed Valhalla trailer that was released.
I've seen the screenshots. I haven't seen the trailer, but I don't know. It's not Assassin's. It doesn't seem like Assassins.
Well,
What? Wait, what is it?
it's Vikings, but I mean, it hasn't technically been Assassins for like the last 3 games. Honestly,
That's true.
I've gotten past that, but how it relates to The Last of Us is it's funny because the way they were announcing the game was they were having like a live stream of someone in Photoshop like painting like the artwork for it, and they had like a live chat going. And I was listening to a podcast. I actually like hopped in there and saw it and then just like dipped out before I saw like the full thing. But I was listening to the MinMax podcast, which is just another gaming podcast. And the main dude was like, yeah, I hopped in there and I was looking at the chat and someone just totally spoiled like the ending for The Last of Us on there. And he was just like... Yeah, like I was just like, damn. Avoid the spoilers, guys. Do your best to not be a dickhead, please.
I'll tell you this. I don't want to purposely give it away, the spoilers, but I looked them up for myself.
Rolf, how could you? How could you, Rolf?
Because I wasn't really stoked for the game, and I didn't think I was going to buy it anytime soon, so I didn't care.
No, Rolf.
The Last of Us Us 1 was amazing. I don't think 2 could have recreated it.
But we
No
don't.
matter how
How
hard they
could you?
tried.
You don't even know. You haven't even touched the game.
But I do know the story.
Don't please. Oh my God, Rob. How?
I wouldn't dare spoil it because I know other people are excited for it, and I wouldn't want to ruin it. But I wasn't excited.
I'm actually very appreciative of a lot of games that are pretty old now. That like, I'm like one day I'll go back and play, and like I have kept like myself spoiler free. Like surprisingly, like it took me a whole year to play God of War, and like I never got any of the spoilers from that. And I mean, even just like stuff I want to talk about later because I went back and played. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it right now. Let's go into the backlog. Wait, I don't think you kind of clipped out a little bit. Do it again. I don't know why it doesn't want to do the be do, but it's okay. Anyways, welcome. So this is the part of the show where we talk about all the games from our backlog that we've been playing recently. And so I want to talk about my long fucking, what is it? 2015. So like 5-6 year journey, I would say. My long 6-year journey of finally going back and playing Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, which is which is the final Ratchet and Clank game that was released on PlayStation 3, and it's basically like the epilogue of the future series. And it's for those who know me, it's well known that I love that series, but also I'm a stupid person, right? Like I do stupid things. So what I'm getting with this is back then when it was first released, my dumbass was like, all right, I had just gotten my Elgato and I was like, I'm going to do a playthrough of this live, or like not live, but like blind, I'm going to go into it blind and I'm going to play through the whole game and get my live reactions and it'll be dope. And so I got like maybe like 30% into the game and then I just never completed the playthrough. And also I want to note that this game came out like right before the PS4 dropped, so it was like it was pretty close. And so when I had stopped and didn't go back to it, because every time I thought about playing it I was like, well, I don't want to set up my recording or like, do all that stuff again. And so I never went back to it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe someday. And so I like avoided spoilers that whole time, even though it was really weird to me because it's my favorite series. They fucking rebooted it in that time. And then I played that game and beat it and still didn't know anything about like the epilogue to one of my favorite franchises. And I was like, man. I never beat it, so I was like, I have to go back. And that is what caused me to realize that my fucking PS3 doesn't work anymore. Because, yeah, I tried putting the disc in, and it makes like this clicking VCR noise, and it just doesn't read the disc at all. And I looked it up, and apparently that's like a known issue.
I've heard of that issue.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, well, let me see what can be done, and it's like literally nothing. You're fucked. Like,
that's a broken PS3.
Dude,
yeah.
So that takes me back to my first PS2 when my first PS2 broke. Because we go through a lot of PS2s, and when my first one broke, like this thing was like off the hinge. You couldn't even close it. Oh my god, it was traumatizing. I remember like going to my parents being like, I can't live anymore. Like my PS2's fucking broken.
Well, this sort of made me realize like how this was another thing that sort of ties into like we're living in the fucking future, because like that same day that I realized that it wasn't working, I was like, shit. I hopped online, Amazon PS3 is like $200-$300. I'm like, no way, fuck that, like that's crazy, right? I hop on the Facebook Marketplace. Never have I hopped on this before. Something that my parents use, they vouch for it and they say that it's legit. And so I hop on there. I see everyone in my area who's selling shit. PS3 with 10 games, controller, like $100. So,
Oh,
yeah, I went and caught me a new PS3. I mean, not new,
dude.
but like I got another one, and it had hella extra shit on it that I just cleaned it out, and I was like, okay, I installed like I signed into my account and everything, and just
That's awesome.
put all my shit on it, and so I finally went back and I beat Into the Nexus, and
Dude. How was it? Was it good?
it was
Excuse me.
it was extremely worth it. You know what? I will say that it was like, wow, I'm so stupid for not playing it during the time, because you know what it is it's the perfect tribute piece to like all Ratchet and Clank fans. It has elements from every single Ratchet and Clank game, literally from like the cameos of characters that are in it to all of the weapons being like basically like a shuffle of like greatest hits weapons from past games,
Wow.
and um
That's all.
and also it has like a little bit of everything. Like they include the freaking like the gladiator battle arenas for like the deadlocked and Up Your Arsenal fans. They have
Yeah.
they have like little Clank side missions, and they have the freaking hover boots, and it's just
Dude,
I
like
that's
knew
there's
it was the end of an era.
literally, and it's actually made by like the B team at Insomniac. So this was already like when they first announced it back then, it was originally just a downloadable title. So they were like, this is just a smaller game. And so
yeah.
they actually had like a limited amount of physical copies. The way I got mine was like I ordered it online, and it was a $30 game when it dropped. And there's like a challenge mode, after you beat it you go back and do it again, and there's like it's a full classic Ratchet experience in like just a couple of hours, but like it's so good because it acknowledges like the entire series, you know what I mean?
Dude, that's and only a couple hours. That's all it took.
Yeah, it's super short. There's only like 4 planets to explore. Like one planet is just solely like the battle arenas, and then like the whole like first 20 to like 30 minutes of the game actually is like an intro sequence that like you can't go back to. It's like a cinematic thing, and then you start, and there's like 4 planets to explore, and they're constantly referencing like the future series about the Zoni and all of the past. You literally towards the end of the game, you literally are walking through. You're like at the like one of the most famous planets from the series, and like you're walking through a museum basically, and the museum is like showing every single villain and antagonist from all the Ratchet and Clank games, and like you like step on a platform and activate a little speech, and it talks about like how Ratchet and Clank defeated each of these like specific enemies, and it's just like it's super neat. They have Quark in there. They got the it's cool. I don't need to rant about it anymore, but
Dude,
as a
It's hard
fan,
not to, because Clank is a big series. Like, there's a lot of games, a lot of villains,
there's
and with the reboot, they kind of had to forget about a lot of them. Not forget about, but like put them aside at least for now.
yeah, it's weird because like you said, it's like over 10 years of building characters and relationships that you're basically like trying to act like don't exist with this new version. They
Yeah,
literally one of the major parts of it's like they're trying to like pose it as a darker game. It's not really, but like the game literally starts off with the two robots. I don't know if you remember them, Kronk and Zephyr, but they're like two battle bots. They die basically, and it's like, oh no, like my friends who I've been on like 4 games worth of journeys with, they die, but they're fucking robots. So like,
Now.
They did go for a darker tone, huh? Kind of like how Jack really jumped from Jack 1 to Jack 2. Like,
it wasn't that big of a jump. No, Jack 2 was.
Jump though,
That's different. That's crazy.
Jack,
Yeah,
they literally gave a mute character a voice and made him say like ass and damn it and
dude, you know what? Oh, you just reminded me. I gotta keep playing that. No, we changed topics, but yeah.
that's it on the Ratchet aspect. There's actually one thing that I realized is you could actually play every single Ratchet and Clank game other than the PS4 one on the PS3, because there's literally the HD collection of the first 3 games, and that comes with like Deadlocked also, and then you get the future games, which are the 3 PS3 ones, and then they released 3 more fucking games after that, which was All for One, Full Frontal Assault, which was like the spin-off tower defense one, and then Into the Nexus, which was the last one.
Dude, man, it makes me want to get a PS3, man.
Yeah, see, there's been a lot of games that I've wanted to go back and play on the PS3 now that I realize, like, there's so many games that I haven't beaten, but I'm sort of kind of trying to stay more with the games that are up to date, like the Switch games and the PS4 games, because I'm like, man, there's games I've bought recently that I haven't fucking beaten. Like, I need to get my money's worth out of it. Like, like the next game that we're gonna talk about, which is Metro Redux, which I got in the mail recently.
You're talking about the Redux for 2033 and Last Light.
Yeah, I got the Switch version. And I wanted to make sure I got the physical version because, like, I'm weird like that, I guess. And I just wanted the physical version. I'm literally...
Isn't it less storage?
What's that?
It's less storage to install, right?
Yeah, both games are on the cartridge. But also, to quote Rolf, I am a tool because literally this game is like $40, the physical version on Switch. And you could literally buy this game for like $7 on the PlayStation Store, like at all times.
Yeah.
Hey, but how does it look on the Switch? Because that's kind of a taxing game.
It looks like ass, I'll tell you that. Like, but it doesn't look bad. Like, I feel like that's just the game. Like, to me, it's just like dark and ugly looking,
Hey, well, shit, if it works for you, man. I mean, I'm curious, like, how Last Light looks, because that was taxing on my system.
I haven't gotten to that, but I'm probably...
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm on 2033. I've played probably about 3 or 4 hours.
nice.
I could say probably about 3 or 4 times I've had to look up what the fuck I'm supposed to do now, because there's so many points of that game where I don't know how the fuck they expect you to know what to do.
Dude, you're right. There's some... I remember specific points, like, just off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've played. Like, snowy outside, you're at the side of a building, you're just like, there's nothing out here.
When you're at the Dead City, that's, like, the most famous one, where you're just like, where the fuck am I going?
Literally, I had to look that up. I was like, what is... And
it's
then...
a dumbass spot. You have to go up this awkward-ass hill.
Yeah, you have to, like... It looks like a wall.
Yeah.
It literally looks like a wall.
It's so fucked up.
It's a fucking
and
wall.
Like little traps. I'm like, yeah. I know what you're talking. Dude.
I had to look that up, and then I was baffled because immediately after that level, I was fucking stuck again because this dude.
Where were you at?
I was in the train in the subway with Khan, and he was walking me through the train, and then he just stops and he's blocking your path.
You're on the fucking stupidest level.
And I'm like, hello? I fucking I reloaded my game. I fucking was like, what is happening? This cannot be happening.
Dude, I totally forgot about that. That's like a black sheep level, honestly.
And then I looked it up, and then it's like, oh, you have to whip out your lighter and burn the spider webs.
stupid shit like that.
I thought it was when you had to stop because if you move, like the ghost like can kill you and shit.
No, I didn't know he actually kills you because I got through that like my first time, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But literally that shit, they don't tell you anything about the lighter up until that point of the game at all, and then it's just like use your lighter to burn the webs.
I'll be honest, bro. That's actually not in 20. That's not in the original one. That's only in the Redux because with the new engine,
I've heard about that.
Web shit.
I heard about that.
So it's all good because I totally didn't know what you're talking about until you mentioned it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's like I'm forcing myself through it because I know it's fun. Like when I'm having fun, it's fun. But like when I get stuck like 3 times in a row and I'm like, no way that they expect a normal person to know what to do right now. Like,
I know what you mean. Yeah. I have like a weird relationship with that game because I had such a hard time and I was struggling so much, but I think it just made me love it more because I started to like appreciate it. But it's fucking stupid.
It definitely shows. It definitely shows its age. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it really does. And like, cause with Exodus, you won't find shit like that. Like Exodus is like just holding your hand like the whole time.
Well, that's like a whole different like developer, I think. Also,
it's no original members are on that team.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So that one looks more like Rushed and Fallout to me.
It does. Yeah, that one looks a lot. Like,
I do want it to be on the record though that when I started 2033, they ask you, do you want the OG 2033 stealth?
Oh, Martin.
Yeah, or like the Last Light experience where it's like more actiony, and I was like, well, I want to be more faithful and get the like original experience, so I went on the that mode. So and I feel like I'm like it's honestly not as like like I was kind of intimidated, like, oh, shit, how many bullets am I really gonna have to be like hoarding and stuff like that? But so far it's cool. Like it's not like fucking The Last of Us where you literally have no ammo at certain points. It's like, what even do I do?
Yeah. Oh well, it's cool that they're easy on you then, because like, yeah, with the old game it got really unfair. Like it really showed its age, like you said. Like shit was just impossible sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have some other games that I've beaten in the time since we've been in quarantine. Star Wars, the Last Jedi, not the Last Jedi. What is it? Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, I beat that one.
Oh, you got through it?
I did. You know what? I forced myself through it. Not a game that I could see myself going back to, I must say.
Really? Did it get better as it went along, at least?
It did. That's the crazy thing. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I had that experience because it was a cool game. But, like, I don't ever think I would go back and play it, like, to do anything. I'm like, I got it. It was like a movie that I watched, and I got the experience, and I'm done with it.
Well, that's good. At least it was fun. That's all you can ask of a game.
Yeah, and you know what? It's gotten me thinking I might want to go. I mean, I think I'm thinking of going back to Bloodborne, bro. I think I might have to give it another whack.
Dude, I was playing that recently, and it still feels fun to me. I love that game.
Dude.
Yeah, I hear it.
I would definitely recommend it.
I hear it. It's the easiest of the Souls game, the Soulsborne games.
And that's... Well, I'd say it's the one that teaches you how to play the easiest. In the sense that there's not as many options. In Dark Souls, you kind of get overwhelmed by all this shit you can do. So it seems really hard. But in Bloodborne, it's just, you dodge. If you don't know how to dodge, learn how to dodge. And then that's it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's equally hard, but it's easier to master, I guess.
I feel it. Well, what have you guys been playing on? I know you mentioned a little bit of that Silent Hill. Is that on the emulator?
We actually run that shit on my laptop. It's running pretty good. We actually got like an enhanced like mod package thing and it made it run like really nice.
Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition, so it looked pretty beautiful.
Oh,
it wasn't like the HD collection where they like removed blood stains and cleaned it up. So,
oh yeah, like it was real deal, dude. Like we played through that shit like pretty flawlessly.
Like the whole game?
The whole fucking game, dude. Yeah. Like we did that shit. Yeah.
Was it just you guys were just passing it off like the controller?
Nah, I was just in the background. Aiden was the one mostly going through it because he never played the game before.
Have you?
Normally Ralph plays it through, and I was like, oh, see what's going on. We do the puzzles together because that shit gets stupid sometimes.
Hard. We were playing the puzzles on the hard puzzle difficulty,
dude.
And they're just fucking stupid, dude.
Oh my god,
shit don't make no sense.
Did you guys?
I had 6.
I was just gonna ask, did you guys get the dog ending?
Nah. No, you gotta beat the game like once, and then you gotta do like hella shit. But
have you beaten?
Like, what's that?
Have you beaten the game before, Ralph?
I remember as a kid watching my dad play. When I played the HD collection, I beat 3, but not 2. I actually straight up got stuck. But I remembered a lot about it just from watching my dad as a kid. At least the story. I didn't know any of the puzzles. That was new to me.
So
yeah.
So it was like a new experience basically for both of you guys.
Yeah, a lot of parts.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And like I had no idea about the story and everything, and when it gets to the twist, it's pretty fucked up. Like it's just like a pretty fucked up story.
I don't think I could ever take a Silent Hill games like story serious, like ever.
And everything and like the
oh my god,
yeah,
what's going on with that radio?
It's funny because like there's actually a huge like community of like Silent Hill speedrunners that when I watch like the GDQ stuff, it's always like, wait a minute, this is the same dude who ran that other Silent Hill game, and like you start recognizing the people, and it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's comedy. Like, nobody's scared of these games, basically. Like, once
you get over a lot of things, the games are hilarious.
Right, and I
also really scary, and the horror is funny in its own way.
Yeah, I imagine once the people have to speedrun it and beat it so many times, like, that shit's just not scary anymore.
Shit, I mean, I'll still get spooked. But yeah, but no, there is some silly shit too. Like there's these enemies in Silent Hill 2 that like if you hit them, they'll be like swimming around the ground like little snakes, and like their bodies like contorting, like, and it's creepy and it's kind of funny, but like in a creepy way.
Yeah, exactly.
And like no, it's just terrifying. But yeah, man, it's been cool. I haven't been playing too many emulators. We've just been whenever we get a chance to play some, we'll just play Silent Hill, and like we're trying to get through all the games. Like I have them all installed right now.
Right. Yeah. So, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to just get through them.
We're trying to get 3 to work now. We've been having trouble the last couple days just getting the controllers to map the right buttons.
Yeah.
You're using the PS4 controller, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's been really fun, man. Like the puzzles are kind of out there, so it's cool to kind of like work your brain like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I think maybe a couple years ago when we had that PSP emulator on my PC, I think me and Rolf tried playing what is it, Silent Hill Origins, which was like the PSP.
Yeah, we've been trying that one too, but it's not working. It glitches out too much.
Aw, that's a shame.
Did it glitch out for us when we played it?
What was that?
Did it glitch out for us when we played it?
I think there might have been like moments where it happened, but I think for the most part it was okay.
Damn. So we should probably try that again. But yeah, man, I'd never played Silent Hill before that. The only time we played was, remember we were watching him play Downpour that one time, like back in the day.
Bro, that game is so horrendous looking.
Oh man,
I still have a soft spot for it deep down. I love that game.
Yeah, Rolf. I remember when it dropped, it was like a big deal because it was like the newest Silent Hill after a long time. But then it was like, this is garbage.
Yeah, they made a lot of mistakes, especially some of them. Like character models just look bad.
Yeah, I need take a look at some videos of that game.
Man, there's been a lot of those moments with some of my favorite franchises where it's like you want to love it so much just for the concept, but then it's just like,
Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Ooh.
I'm thinking
What
like,
happened to that? What happened to Catalyst? Is that why did it suck so bad? Was it just the same thing?
bro, I never played it. I don't know, but it's always like $3 on the PlayStation Store.
Dude, yeah, no, that was a huge
I'm
flop.
thinking like Resident Evil 6 when that came out. I was trying so hard. I was like, this game's not that bad, you know, like.
You like move to the door, then you start losing connection because some dude's trying to be a zombie in your game and shit.
No way. Dude,
Not only that, but
Yeah,
Resident Evil. This is a deep cut. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. That was a game I was super juiced about.
Man, I was hoping it was gonna be cool when it came out.
I remember watching.
Glad I read the reviews before I bought it because.
I remember watching you play that shit, man. I was just like, "This is a game. Like, this is a fucking game."
Yeah, that shit was horrendous. You get to kill Leon in that game, like.
Oh my god,
Man.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to These Are the Games, which is a segment where we talk about specific set of games. This time, I wanted to surprise you guys and talk about a couple of games that are not released yet, are supposed to be coming soon, and I want to get your opinion on them and see what you would like out of these games. So, I'm going to start off with that Avengers game I've talked about a couple times on this podcast because
You want?
the Destiny like game.
huh? Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna let that one fly under my radar and just ignore it. I don't want to think about it too much because I feel like I'm just gonna end up making myself mad or just needlessly hating something that I could just easily ignore. You know?
Well, a long time ago, I don't know if you guys remember, way back before the Ronus, this game was supposed to be releasing like in May, like soon. But now it's got delayed like multiple times, and it's like, who knows when it's coming out? Because, you know, my guess is Disney sees the shit game and they're like, yeah, we can't be releasing this, guys. So, but ever since the last time we talked about it, they released a new like story / gameplay trailer, which is heavily focused on Miss Marvel, Camilla Khan. You know, apparently, she's supposed to be like the main protagonist. That's supposed to be like bringing the Avengers back together after they like disband, and so they sort of elaborated on like how the online gameplay works, and like basically you're progressing through this story like no matter if you play online or offline, and you're like picking your characters, and different like costumes or like versions are basically like how you can play like online with multiple people and stuff. And I obviously I can't do a good job of explaining it, but I was like, all right, well, you know, I guess we'll see what becomes of it. But neither of you guys interested at all, right?
I haven't even heard it till now.
Yeah, I probably won't pay much attention to it.
I feel it.
So you're
Okay.
saying like a third person, sort of like.
Third person action.
Okay. I mean, I'll see how it is, but I don't think it's something I'm like busting a nut for.
Developed by Crystal Dynamics, which is the Tomb Raider team from Square Enix.
Huh. I'm sure it'll look great.
What
like,
I don't want to see is like Captain America, Green Captain America, Flaming Captain America, and then Diamond Captain America all on the same team.
That's a thing?
Well, I'm just making shit up. Of, like, four
I
players.
can see that. Yeah.
That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
Well, from
Or
what
at
they've
least-
showed like Iron Man in multiple suits, and that sort of looked exactly like Destiny and the Guardians, basically, like the different Guardians.
That makes sense.
Moving on. I mean, like I said, I'll probably get it just because, you know, I'm a tool, but Yeah.
You're trying to see what you're trying to play the games, man.
Yeah, you
I'd
know.
say we're already on sale, dude.
Have either of you guys heard of Valorant?
Yeah, I keep hearing about it, but I don't know anything about it.
No, I've never heard of it.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. It is basically a hybrid between Counter-Strike and Overwatch. And
I'm remembering seeing like 4-second clips now and stuff, and I've seen a little bit of gameplay.
It had the most streams or the most live stream like viewers on Twitch at one point because it's actually not out yet. It's in beta for PC, and they were giving out like beta codes if you watch the freaking live stream on Twitch. So they had like a crazy amount of people watching it at one time, and
I could imagine. It's a good idea.
yeah, so I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I haven't seen anything about it personally. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it, but you know, it sounds like you don't know. You probably know as much as me, so.
I actually like now that you're bringing it up, and I'm remembering what game it is. It does look cool. I think it's going to replace Fortnite as the big thing, or Apex, which I already forgot about that game.
Oh my god!
Right? Yeah.
Perfectly, like the perfect drop-in and accessible kind of game. Like you don't have to spend your time walking around a map looking for loot and bad guys. You just drop in and start fighting and shit. And that's a better model.
What's the game called? Or how do you spell it?
Valorant.
Oh,
Yeah.
Valorant.
While you're doing that, another game here. I'll just ask: either of you excited for Elder Scrolls 6 at all?
Nuh-uh.
Elder Scrolls, that's coming out, huh?
Yeah, they dropped their trailer was
the
fucking
the mountains. Yeah, pretty much fucking that. Yeah, no, I remember that. I'm curious, but I just with all the shit that Bethesda's been fucking doing,
I know
it's starting to make me really mad. I'm just like, I know what you're gonna do, and I don't know if I want to see it again.
Honestly, I'm not even. The reason I'm not interested isn't because of all the stupid shit Bethesda's been doing, but because, honestly, I feel like they're not working. Like they don't even have a blueprint down for it. It's too early.
Right? Is it?
They're saying like it's been long enough. We are gonna make that game. That's
a good point. Man.
Just letting you guys know.
Do you see anything for Valorant yet, Aiden?
Yeah, I'm watching a little thing right now.
It literally looks like Counter-Strike and
UI
Overwatch, right?
It looks like Overwatch.
It's because you get abilities. That's the difference. It's the Counter-Strike gameplay and the abilities of
Counter-Strike
a hero shooter
with ability. Oh wow!
You don't compare it to Counter-Strike because Counter-Strike doesn't have abilities.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's its own game, and with that in mind, like abilities are fun, but I think hero shooters are kind of boring. I'm burnt out on them personally.
Oh yeah, no.
It's funny because I've never played a single one of them.
No, yeah.
I only played Overwatch, and God, I hate that game.
Yeah, no, they've always annoyed the fucking fuck out of me. Just because not only do I suck at them, but even if I was good at them, the highs only last so long, just for the match, and then the next match comes, and it's just,
if you lose the next match,
oh my god,
it literally you feel worse than before you won that match before.
It's like you never even won the match, and so like for that reason, for that like psychological reason, I can't play. Like it actually like fucks with me. It makes me feel like I'm just a shitty gamer. It's like, why am I even gaming?
Honestly, there's a reason I don't like them and it's similar, is because in Team Fortress I could play a game and not do the objective and run around and killing people, and the match would last like 30 minutes, but I wouldn't care because I'm just having fun killing. If you don't focus on the objective in like a hero shooter, you just get fucking stomped. You exit spawn, you get killed, and it's just not fun. You have to like try as hard as you can, because if you're losing, you're not going to have a good time. You can have a good time losing in some other games like Team Fortress, but
yeah, because it's like the game. Yeah,
it's weird. I get that same experience from fucking Fortnite and battle royales. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put all this work in, and then boom, just die, and I'm like, well,
Exactly, dude.
What is the point?
Royale.
Oh my god. Yeah, the risk reward. It's almost like gambling, in like a fucked up way. Like, you know, it's a huge.
It really is.
The stakes are so low for you. The house will always fucking win.
I'm literally just gonna get fucking sniped by a grown man every time. So
if you open the chest, it's like, oh, will I be lucky and get a pistol, or will I be unlucky and get nothing?
well,
yeah, and then you get all these good, and you suck at aiming, and it's just fucking stupid.
going back to Elder Scrolls, do you guys think it's weird that Skyrim is literally available on every single platform, and it's been out for like 10 years, and I've still never played it ever?
Man,
you're not missing out. I'll say this. I think I don't know if you remember, but I like bought that game day one.
That game is like basically pop culture now.
Yeah, it is. When it first came out, I played it a lot. But I got burnt out of it before the first DLC even dropped. And therefore, I've never played any of the DLCs. But I have played it a whole damned lot. So I can form like a valid opinion of it. And I can say it's fun. But it's a really big world. And to me, it doesn't feel alive enough.
I heard you can go crazy with the mods, though.
Oh, yeah, if you get it on PC, or I think there's even console mods now, but those are shitty.
Yeah. I mean, no, and if you got it on PC, yeah, there's all the mods, but you really do have to have the know-how, especially with, Elder Scrolls games. Modding those is
I
just
used to mod
fucking
Oblivion, and,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's honestly, you have to be the kind of person who enjoys modding, because I learned from modding Oblivion that I don't like the hassle of mods more than I like mods, so I'd rather just play it vanilla.
Quick, better or worse than having to go through the code and change your fucking MySpace background?
Ah, fuck. No, that was way easier.
Then I don't want to do it then. Nah, fuck that.
But Elder Scrolls Skyrim, despite that, like, even vanilla, it's fun. It's been on everything, but that's because it's like the generic RPG. That's all it is. It's as generic as you can fucking get. You can just walk around the land slaying dragons and shit. And if you want to do that for all of eternity leveling up, that's all there is in the game.
Yeah, like, pretty much what happens is, like, you play the game, you're like, okay, cool, like, there's dragons. That's, like, the whole thing about this game. And you fight your dragon, and it's got a lot of health, and you're whacking at it, you're hacking at it, it's blowing fire at you, the music's playing, and then you finally kill it, and then the souls start coming out the dragon, like, oh, that was great. And you do the same thing over and over again. You get better weapons, so then dragons aren't even fucking shit. Next time you see a dragon, you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, there's a certain point of the game, like, I didn't use melee weapons.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I don't know how many hours I put into that game. That was a lot of hours, but I probably had like 1 hour total with the melee combat, because it's just so fucking, you press the attack button and then 3 seconds later, slowest fucking swing in the world. I couldn't fuck. So I only ever use magic and spells. Therefore, like, the game was like a shooter to me. I would sit back and just throw fireballs and ice balls and shit.
Yeah, no, because you can play it so many different ways, right? But if you really got down to the bottom of it, it's a really broken game. Like, it's not balanced, and you can create these really unbalanced, like, builds that just break the game. Really.
If you use a bow and arrow,
the bow and arrow,
that's the easy mode of the game.
God.
Because it like, times 2 damage for sneaking, and then times 3 damage for your fucking bow, and then times 32 damage because it just gives an extra multiplier for some reason, and you one-hit everything. They expect you to play the game or some shit.
All right, the last game I have here. What do you guys think about Cyberpunk 2077?
Ooh, good question.
Are either of you the slightest bit interested?
You interested?
Personally, no. I don't have anything else to really add to it. I don't hate it or nothing. It's just I saw the trailer and I thought, okay, a Cyberpunk game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when I watched the gameplay, I think the most interesting thing was probably how the story decisions interact with each other because this is CD Projekt Red. These are the people that made The Witcher, so their story development is bound to have some chops. But kind of like how Silent Hill's weird acting, like I feel like with their games, they try to be way too adult. You feel like, oh fuckity, fuckity, shitty, shitty, and like they just throw in all these like adult themes when they don't really need to be there sometimes. And it's just like everything's always fucked, everyone's always fucked up.
I hear that's how The Witcher is.
That yeah, and it's just like you play the game, you're like, all right, everyone's in this game is just gonna be a fucked up person. Like I don't know, like they try to deal with like the adult themes, they try to hit it home, but it comes off as kind of like immature sometimes. And like it's like everyone has a drinking problem, everyone's beating up their wife, everyone like, okay, like I get it, life's fucking hard, and so like, but I'm sure the game's gonna be cool. Like there's gonna be a lot of great abilities and like the nanobots, like there's like inhalers where you inhale shit and you can like move fast. I don't know. It's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a game.
Yeah, I'll probably get it just based completely off of the hype, just like Grand Theft Auto 5 or something, where it was like, well, I kind of don't want this game, but I can't, I can't not get it if everyone else is getting it.
It's honestly taking too long too. Like they take way too long with their games.
Did they just push it back again?
I think they probably pushed it back.
Not only did they push it back, but they delayed the multiplayer till like 2021. Like
that's what I'm saying. No. Like they're way too ambitious, and then by that time, all these new games are coming out, breaking barriers, fucking break new ground.
I mean, I wasn't even interested, and I just now lost interest again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, looks like the game's now gonna take fucking 10 more fucking years.
Hey, well, quick sort of re-segue back into the backlog again. Ralph, I know you said that you've been playing a little bit of Borderlands 3, and you had some takes on that.
Yeah, because, I literally bought that game, like, December 20th as a Christmas gift for myself. But now here we are, May 3rd.
I forgot that game is that old, honestly.
Yeah, it's already like a year old. Damn. They already have a couple DLCs out, I think. But I didn't even realize I bought the fucking special edition with the season pass and shit. I just had it in the steel book in the plastic wrap, and I opened it just like 2 days ago.
So what's?
And, well, I've read a little bit about it before I even decided to buy it, and they said like the villains are streamers in this one, and they're literal. They're like fucking. Hey, followers, remember to, like, subscribe and shit like that. It's annoying as fuck. I hate it. It's not even like, oh, man, I hate these villains. I want to kill them. It's more like, could you have written them better, please?
Oh, my God.
That sounds terrible.
That's, like, the point of them. That's their whole shtick. Anytime they talk, you're like, oh, you're not being a very good follower. You're killing all my minions. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's the worst thing about the game. They refined a lot of things, like you can slide and shit, like the modern shooter things, so you can climb on ledges and fucking shit. And it's cool. It doesn't feel like, oh man, they're modernizing it. It feels like, oh good, this clunky ass old game is getting fucking modernized.
Yeah. It is pretty clunky.
It feels pretty solid. It feels smooth. I'm having fun with the gunplay.
Nice.
Would you say that the art style holds up?
That's another thing is I played Borderlands 1 way back before Borderlands 2 was like, because 2 kind of blew up the series.
Yeah.
1 came and people were interested in it. Not a lot of people really bought it. And I really liked the aesthetic of 1. It was just like this trash planet. Yeah. Everything's junk. All the weapons are junk. And all the people are just bandits. Except for like some military corporation that's there to find some treasure.
Yeah.
But over time, it's like they find higher tech because they want to give you better guns for gunplay reasons. But at the same time, it's like the planet's evolving kind of, which doesn't make sense because it's a junk planet. You feel like once junk, always junk.
Yeah.
But here we are, Borderlands 3, we got the pre-sequel plus the Tales of the Borderlands games under their belt, which They're all canon.
Oh shit.
Oh, that counts.
Yeah. So things have happened. Like characters are dead from those. Then I'm like, hey, where's that guy?
Damn.
Is Claptrap in this game?
I like him. He's here, and he's not even as annoying as he was in 2.
Man, I played the first level of 2, and that's the only thing I fucking heard the whole level, dude.
My
little
God.
fucker.
Yeah, I think I had that same experience. The only time I've ever played 2 was when I played it with Rolf, and I was like, "Is this dude gonna shut the fuck up?"
Yeah, he's hella annoying in 2, and they did that on purpose. They made him fucking 10 times more annoying than he was in the first game.
Okay.
But in the third game, he's that level of obnoxious, but he's not as prominent a character. He's not the guy walking you around, so you don't have to hear him as much.
Okay, he should be a side character.
Yeah.
Have you dingle-dangled like with the online at all, or not really?
No, I'm trying to play it solo. I played Borderlands 1 online with randos a couple times, and I didn't really like the experience too much.
For sure. So you said the special edition, does that just give you like the season pass?
It gave me some skins and some like weapons and like shields that gives you bonus experience that I didn't know how to claim until I was too high of a level to get the bonus experience.
What the fuck?
It was like bonus experience until you're level 10, and I was level 11 once I realized you could read your and get extra all your add-on shit.
I hate those type of like add-on like bonuses. Like Ratchet and Clank had a couple of those where it's like for a split second it was like if you pre-order here you get this gun early in the game, and I'm like, if I'm gonna unlock it anyways, I don't fucking want it earlier. I want something that I can only get if I pre-order, you know?
Do you remember Call of Duty World at War's pre-order bonuses?
No, what were they like? Zombie?
I'll tell you right now. It was you unlock at rank 1 from the multiplayer the flamethrower and the M1 carbine.
I remember that.
But if you prestige, you don't get them at level 1 again. You got to get to max level again to get them again.
That's the stupidest.
So you get the 2 last weapons you get at level 1. That was the pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
Not that they were even that good.
I hate games.
Yeah.
I hate where it's also like 10,000 like in-game currency coins or whatever the fuck to spend on whatever. I'm like,
spend an extra $10 in our game, we'll give you 5 back.
Right. No, seriously. Actually, going back to Ratchet and Clank for a second, I was confused because when I was going through that quick little Vita phase that I had, I saw on the trophy listings for Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus that it says PS3 and Vita. And I'm like, what the heck? Was this game like cross-buy or something? Like, I want to play it on my Vita. That sounds dope. And I looked it up, and apparently it was supposed to be cross-buy, but the full Frontal Assault game that came out before it, the Vita port was so trash that they just like canceled it like outright. And I was like, okay. So I checked, and I had the cross-buy for that game, so I went back and downloaded it. So technically, it's the only Ratchet and Clank game on Vita is this oddly specific spin-off game, tower defense game. And so I played it, and oh my god, it runs at like 3 frames per second, and it looks like a Game Boy Advance game.
Really?
But it's the game.
It's like the full-fledged game. It just doesn't run good at all.
Right. It runs super laggy, but like everything's there. It just looks ugly, runs laggy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like that one. That was a pretty fun game.
Did you have it?
I played it with you, but I had a trial for PlayStation Now, and I played it with little Isaac for a while. Right.
Yeah. Also, that was another downloadable only one that I got like a fucking. I wanted all of the physical versions, but That game also had like, oh, if you pre-order, you get these costumes and these skins, and it was just like, why? Like,
Damn. Dude, it's too bad Ratchet Clank didn't run good on the Vita, man. Like, I thought the Vita was... I mean, it's just because of the game, right? Like, because the Vita's pretty powerful.
yeah, that's the thing. I guess it was just like the people who ported it over.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they thought they overestimated how strong the Vita was, and they're like, we'll just keep a lot of the things the same as the PS3.
Oh, yeah.
They just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But learning about that made me look into other cross-buy games for the Vita, and I found out that like in Europe, if you get the Jack and Daxter HD collection, you get the Vita version of that too. But for some reason, that's not in the US, and I'm like, that's
fucked up.
that's terrible. Yeah.
Dude, I would fucking... Wait, you're saying
But
the
then
whole
you
Jack
have to get
collection?
the digital version, huh?
I believe so, and I also hear those ports are not the best.
Damn, gosh darn flabbit, man.
But also, I hear that the Sly Cooper cross-buy for Thieves in Time is actually pretty good, and the Sly HD collection on the Vita is also like a good one.
I had Sly 4 on PS3, and it was cross-buy. I played that shit on my Vita, and it worked like a dream. It was really fun to have on the go.
So you tried it. You actually redeemed it.
Sly 4, yeah.
That's so
And
cool.
I don't know if I platinumed it. I think I tried to, but it was worth it to have the experience on a Vita. That one feels like it would work the best on a Vita, because honestly, I think Sly 4 felt the smallest.
Yeah, right. That's sort of why I wish the Ratchet game ran well, because I'm like, this is the perfect side game to have on a smaller console, you know?
Yeah, it would have been.
Anyways, yeah, so let's go ahead and move into our last segment we have here. I know we've been going for quite some time, but we are going to start our queue up. Which is just basically a segment where I ask a couple of questions. This week, I got a little inspiration from the latest Game Informer magazine, which I'm still fucking getting in the mail for some reason.
I forgot about it.
I literally have like a stack of 200 of these bitches in my closet, but...
Oh, dude, I love fucking gaming magazines. Dude.
Anyways, in this magazine, at the end, they had just basically a couple of random trivia questions relating to games. And since I already know the answer, I have here like just 5 multiple choice questions that I'm gonna ask you guys, and we're gonna see who wins.
Oh, fun. Okay, game on, man.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, that's good. That's a good little jingle.
So let's begin with question number 1. I'll read you guys a question, and then I'll
Final answer.
I'll list off the options afterwards. So first question is, Fallout 2 has an arguably unnecessary subtitle. What is it? A. Back to the Wasteland. B. A post-nuclear role-playing game. Or C. Prepare for the Future.
It's gotta be B.
I was gonna go with B too. I'm pretty sure my mental.
For some reason, I was like, "Is it Fallout Bloodlines?"
Yeah, that's the spin-off on the PS2. Yeah.
So, is B your final answer?
That's my answer.
That's my answer too. Do I have to choose a different one?
No, you're good. So, B, a post-nuclear role-playing game. You both are correct. So, that is a score for both of you guys.
Freaking redundant. What are they doing?
All right. Second question. How many years did Minecraft spend in beta before its official release? A, 3, B, 4, or C, 2?
I'm gonna guess 2. And that's a bad guess, but I'm just guessing.
I'm gonna guess
I honestly don't know.
3.
So Rolf, you said C2, and Aiden, you said 3, which is A.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Aiden, you are correct. That is 3 years in beta before official release.
Pretty close. I mean, 2, 3. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I would have no idea, but moving on.
Thinking either a really big number or a small number.
Yeah. You know.
You know what I found out that's really absurd, I think? Did you guys know that Fortnite is technically still in beta?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I knew that as well, and I just forgot about that.
I just think it's kind of weird where it's like you can pay for this game that's technically not officially released.
You brought up a great point. Freaking when DayZ was in beta for the longest fucking time, people were like, why the fuck are we paying for this game? Yeah, dude.
It's on yourself, though, because you don't have to buy early access. I don't buy early access to nothing.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Anyways, so moving on. Question number 3. Dota helped spawn the MOBA genre, but it began as a mod for what popular PC game? A. Half-Life.
You don't know? Yeah. I don't know.
Would you like to say it, Rolf?
Dude.
MOBA was, I think, not MOBA. Fucking Dota was originally a fucking mod for Blizzard's fucking Warcraft, I think. And they just got some fucking hero units from that, and like, oh, let's make this a little lame gameplay, because, you know, it's a real-time strategy. It's pretty similar.
So you said C, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. You are correct.
Yeah. Nice. Wow, it started off as a Warcraft. You know what? I don't know if you ever played Warcraft 3, but that is a pretty great fucking game. Just alone on the PC for like real-time strategy.
Well, you know,
They
they recently remastered Warcraft 3, and it got a whole lot of backlash because it was like a terrible...
Oh yeah, I heard about that, but
no way.
The reason for the backlash was because when they first announced it, they had some really nice looking trailers.
Yeah, apparently it looked better when they first announced it.
The trailers looked nice. It looked like an HD remake. This looked like if you had this, like, you turned up the graphics setting on a really old computer or something.
I used to have Warcraft 3. I don't have it anymore, but...
Question number 4. Sega originally explored other animal designs for Sonic before landing on a hedgehog. In some other reality, he's called Sonic the A. Rabbit, B. Cat, C. Raccoon, or D. Sasquatch.
What? I was gonna guess cheetah, but since that's not one of them, I'm gonna say cat.
Oh, I'm gonna say C.
So, raccoon?
Yeah, I think he is a raccoon.
Okay.
I think that seems about.
And
anyway.
You guys are both wrong. The answer is A. Rabbit.
Rabbit. I mean, it makes sense.
The rabbits are quick.
More like Thumper the rabbit, maybe.
Okay. Final question here. This one's for all the marbles.
Uh-oh.
Which game was not part of Sony's PS3 launch lineup? A. Yeah, this one's kind of a tricky one. A. Genji Days of the Blade. B.
Never heard of that.
I've never heard of that either. I've never heard of it. B. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2.
Oh shit, that was really early.
C. Resistance Fall of Man. Or D. Ridge Racer 7.
Whom? 7?
Yeah, 7. I wonder what they're on now.
You know what?
Ridge Racer.
I was thinking D as well, but that Genji game, what the fuck is that?
I saw it on the 360. I think it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's launch. Most positive.
But I don't know. Yeah, Ridge Racer 7 I feel like if it's the 7th one, would that? Did they make 6 fucking games before the PS3? Maybe.
Oh. No, I think you made a good point, Ralph. I think Ridge Racer 7. I'm going with D.
Fuck, what was B again?
B was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm going with Ultimate Alliance. That's my guess.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Aiden, is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. Rolf? You are correct.
Hey!
I thought Marvel Alliance was definitely launched.
I
got that deal with my Xbox 360.
Bro, I had that game on my PlayStation 3. I thought it was launched too. Apparently not.
Michael did have it. That's what made me think it wasn't launched. Because I was like, I think I remember going to Michael's to play it. And I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't had my PS3 for a while already, is what I'm trying to say.
That one got me. That one got me.
Well, that was a little nice little neat game. Thanks in part to Game Informer. But yeah, that is everything that I have for you guys for this episode of Too Many Games Podcast, episode 8. Thank you guys for listening, and we hope you enjoyed. Make sure you rate us 5 stars and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend, and check out our YouTube, because I've been doing a lot of streaming lately, and trying to legitimize my playthroughs a bit and actually finish some of the ones I'm starting, and not just continuously start new ones. But, check me out on there. So, you guys want to say anything before we wrap this up?
Man, I can't wait for that Resident Evil 2 playthrough, man. That's just gonna be great when you beat it.
Oh yeah, I'm already. I'm on the. I just got to Mr. X.
Mr. X, no, yeah, I saw that. yeah, dude, you're getting there, man.
For sure. Well, thank you guys for joining me and hosting this episode. We hope you guys stay safe out there, and we'll catch you all on the flippity flip.
Thank you for having us, man. Sure.
All right. Well,
thank you, wonderful audience, for listening. Thanks to viewers like you.
Yeah.
Thank
you. This is brought to you in part by. Oh, by the way, just a little quick side thing. Too Many Games episode 4 is still our most listened to podcast that I've put out of anything that I have for some reason.
That's awesome.
I checked the statistics, and one person from the UK listened to it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, dude. Something great. Too many games.
He's gonna hear this and be like, they're talking shit.
Oh no.
Oi, thanks for tuning in to the Too Many Games show.
I love the gaming Brit. He's awesome. Fucking. What's that one guy?
You kiss your mother with that mouth.
Fucking zero fluctuations, yeah. Oh man, yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, hopefully, we'll break that record.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks again, guys. Let's
there's too many games out here.
Well, I
Too
do.
many games out here.
You do.
Why is there so many games?
Who knew?
So many games. Too many games. Why?
Too many games.
Why is there so many games?
There's too many games.
Too
Yeah.
many to count.
All right, I gotta go to pause the recording. All right, later, guys.